Hi everyone, welcome to our week 6. I have to keep note of how many weeks we are. Week 6 of our online MS exercise class that has been very kindly funded by the Auckland MS Society. We've got a few of you joining us live, so I'll just give a moment for anyone else joining us live to sign in. And obviously those of you who are joining us by the recorded version, we're going to welcome you as well. So obviously these sessions are all being recorded. They can all be found on our MS Get a Head Start YouTube channel is where they're being loaded, but they're also onto a page on the MS Auckland website page as well. So you can watch them as many times as you want. Lovely for those who are joining us again. You know, if you've been following us now for 6 weeks, this is awesome. We've got 2 more weeks to go. So if you have been joining us for the whole 6 weeks, that's fantastic. If you're new to the program, my name's Julie Davey. I am a neurological physio. I own a practice here in Auckland called Connect Neurophysiotherapy, and I'm the founder of a program called MS Get a Head Start, which over the last 6 weeks, we've been talking about the principles that underpin that program, MS Get a Head Start, and how yourselves can apply those principles to your exercise. So we've got another one of those principles that we're going to be discussing today as well. So now, unfortunately, I have a new attachment than last week. So unfortunately, I have disturbed an old injury of my own. So I have now got my arm in a cast, which means I will have to be modifying some of the demonstrations I do for you guys. But, you know, it is what happens in life, and it's often quite good to be able to show people how you can just modify your exercise approach to keep yourself exercising, even when you get new fashion accessories like the one I've got. So what we'll do, I'll just make sure we can get the camera in so we can get myself in there. We've got mirrors just reflecting our very organized cupboard, I'm going to say. So let me just take that back. Okay, so you've got a view of us there. Okay. So as always with these exercises, make sure I'm not being chopped off, is we will do a warm-up, and then we're going to do 9 exercises, 30 seconds of exercise, 30 seconds of rest. Each exercise 3 times before we move on to the next exercise, okay? We're going to do 3 exercises, then we're going to have to stop, have a little breather, then we'll do the next 3, stop, have a little breather. Do make sure that you've got an ice cold water available, okay, so that you can keep yourself hydrated. It's definitely getting warmer here in Auckland. It's pretty warm this morning. I think it was 17 degrees on about 7 o'clock this morning here, so it's definitely warming up. So make sure you keep yourselves hydrated, and we will get started. So make sure you've got something accessible for the floor. I did do my quick health and safety, so I'll just say that now, that obviously I haven't had the joys to assess you all individually, those who are joining us both live and recorded version. So please make sure you only practice something that you know you're safe to do so. Any pain, any concerns about anything, just skip that exercise, please, just to make sure that you are safe with that. This program is designed for those individuals who can get on and off the floor okay, so not needing too much help to do that. So if you've got something on the floor like a mat or a rug or a towel for the floor base, and then you're going to need a sturdy chair for some of the chair exercises that we're going to do, okay? So let's just start with a little bit of a warm-up. So just again, you can have the chair in front of you or to the side of you to start with. We're just going to do a little bit of marching on the spot, and we're going to be swinging those arms back and forth. And then as we get going, let's put a little bit more emphasis in the swing. If I just turn around, I want to make sure that you're swinging that arm as far back as what you are forward, okay? I don't want it stopping at your side here. I want you to swing it right back behind you, using those shoulder blades to squeeze that arm back. Okay, and now we're going to go heel kick in front, opposite hand. Heel kick, okay? Like we're doing a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a rhythm, just trying to get that heel kick in front. Again, if you need a chair or something beside you to hold on to and do this with one hand, that's all good. Okay, now we're going to do a back step. So we're going to go back step, and it's the opposite arm goes back, and then we go back step, opposite arm. That's it. So we're going to do a swing back, and you're just going back onto your toes. Okay, don't let the heel go down. And just think about pushing off those toes to bring that leg forward again. So just kind of going through some movements just to get this body warmed up. Beautiful. Okay, then nice wide stance, much wider than normal. Okay, and we're going to turn the feet out slightly, and we're going to do a wide squat. Okay, you'll find with a really wide squat that you might not be able to go quite as low as before. We're just going to do some nice wide squats. Make sure those knees aren't falling in. Make sure you're squeezing those knees out. Again, you can have a chair in front. With this, we'll just do a few more squats just to warm up those legs. Beautiful. Okay, we'll just warm up the upper body a little bit more. So both arms, big swing backwards. Okay, really try and get those shoulders right back. Nice. And now we're going to go both arms forward. Good. Now we're going to go one arm back, one arm forward. So a little bit of coordination for you guys. And then we're going to change. So now the other arm forwards, the other arm back. You might find one side feels a bit easier than the other. Good, and then we'll just do hands to chest and out, so a bit like a chest fly, just warm up that chest and back muscles. Beautiful, and stop there. Nice, our first few exercises are a little lighter. What I thought we'd do, well, I say that, but they're not all light, but we're going to do some coordination exercises and some balancey stuff in the first round. Okay, so the first one, I'm actually going to come up to the camera and that, so you can see me. So I'll just come up to the camera and I'm just going to pop it up a little bit. So this one, you can do this one in standing or sitting. If you are able to stand, it's a good way to work on your standing balance as well. But if you need to have a sit, you can. We're going to do finger to thumb, okay, each finger, and then back the other way, okay. Now, I can't do it so well on my other hand because it can't get there at the moment. But the first round, I want you to do both hands at the same time. So it's going to go index, middle, ring, little finger, ring finger, index finger, sorry, middle finger, index finger, okay? So you're trying to do that on both sides, nice and quick for the 30 seconds. So we're going to have our timer going in the background, so you'll hear a whistle, which will be the start, and a beep beep when we need to finish. Excellent. Okay, so we've got 30 seconds now. So if you can try and do both hands at the same time. As I say, I'm going to just do one hand. So you're going forwards and backwards. Now you might find that watching it is easier, and then have a go at trying not to look at your hand as you do it as well. Now you probably have one hand that's faster than the other, so try and do it at the same time with each hand. Excellent, well done. Okay, so the next round, what you are going to do this time is you're going to do a double tap, okay, of each finger and then back up, but you're going to do one hand at a time. So we're going to do double tap all the way down to the little finger and back up, and then we're going to do double tap on the other hand, okay? So getting ready. Okay, so double tap, double tap, double tap, double tap, and then double tapping on the way back up. And then you guys will change hands and say, I can't quite get to the other couple of little fingers, so I'm going to miss those ones out. Okay, and then back to the other hand. Good. Just 5 more seconds. That's it. So make sure you keep changing hands. Excellent. Now the last round, what we're going to do is you can either do this in standing, okay, or in sitting, is, I'll drop the camera a little bit, is if you've got your palm out, I can't turn my arm enough, so I'm going to rest my hand on top. So the hand on top is going to go palm, back of the palm. So you're going to turn that hand between the palm and the back of the hand really quickly. So if you can do that in your palm, okay, and then you're going to do the other arm, okay? So ready, let's go. So one hand, as quick as you can. We're going to do 15 seconds of that hand turning. Okay, forwards and backwards, quick as you can. You've got another 5 seconds to go. And now change. So now you're going to do it in the other side. Okay, now obviously I can't do that side so very well, so I'm going to carry on with the side I've got. Good, we've got 5 more seconds. Excellent, well done. Now, for those of you who found that it was actually quite hard to get the timing and the rhythm of that, in the medical world, we call that a fancy thing called dysdiadokinesia. What that basically means is rapid alternating movements are difficult. Like always, anything that you do find difficult, if you think back about the week we're talking about challenge tasks, okay, is these are simple things you can practice, okay? So that finger to thumb, okay, and also that really fast alternating movement of your hands. All right, so that's that first exercise done. Okay, the next one is going to just get us moving a little bit more with the legs. We are doing some just high knee marching. So you can have your chair, okay, side on, and we're just trying to see if we can get those knees actually up to hip height. Now you might have one leg that can come up well, and then one leg that doesn't really come up very high. That's fine, you just do as much as what you can do. Okay, so we've got 30 seconds of this. All right, so we're going marching. Now, if you can march and you don't need to hold on, you can bring in your arm swing as well. Okay, but if you need a bit of balance, you can hold on with one hand and you can swing the other. If this is easy, you can go faster. If this is difficult and you need to take a rest in between, that's all good. Got 5 more seconds. Excellent. So if you have got one leg, let's say that's not going very far, what you can do within the 30 seconds is do a little bit of a lift, okay? And then if you get to the point that you can't lift that leg anymore, just have a rest and then join us back in, okay? So we've got another 10 seconds. All right, getting ready. Off we go. So how fast and crisp and high can you get those high knee marching? So this is working on our hip flexors, which are an important muscle, okay, to help with some of our walking, okay, and general core control. We've got 10 seconds to go. Now, if anyone's feeling really game and you want to put that into a run, absolutely you go for it. Otherwise, you can stay with me just doing that walking march, trying to get those legs pumping up as much as you can. We'll try and really do this last set to get your heart rate up, because the next set is a balanced set, so it's not going to be very cardio based. So let's see if we can really get your heart rate up with this last round of high knees. So getting ready. And off we go. So how quick can we get these knees moving? Okay, pumping those arms to get a little bit more of blood flow going. Can we get that heart rate up? Good, we've got 10 seconds to go. Excellent, and stop there, well done. So the next exercise, I'm going to come up to the screen to do this one. Sorry, I just need a little drink, that's into my throat. Okay, so this is one that we've done, not in this round, but if anyone did any of the recorded ones we did through kind of September when we did 3 little recorded ones, we did this one there. So this is VOR, your vestibular ocular reflex, stroke your gaze stability that we're training. So I want you in standing, and I want you to look at something that is at eye height, about a couple of meters away from you, so 1 to 2 meters away from you. So it might be a corner of a picture frame, it might be a mark on the wall, you know, it might be something outside if you're near a window. If it is something outside, make sure it's stationary, it's not moving, like, you know, not a branch or a leaf that's moving in the wind. And what you're going to do is keep your eyes focused at the front while moving your head from side to side. So hopefully you can see in the screen that my eyes are staying still and it's my head that is moving. Now, for some of you, this will be really easy, and for some of you, you'll find it really difficult to keep your eyes doing one thing and your head doing something else. So, as I say, for those who this is going to just be naturally challenging, it'll be challenging. If you think that this is going to be easy for you, you can just make this more challenging by standing on one leg, okay? So we're going to do 30 seconds of side to side, and then the next round I'm going to change it up a little bit. So, looking forwards, and then you're taking that head side to side, eyes staying forwards. So you're not stopping or pausing, but you're not rushing either. So it's just a gentle turn from side to side as we go. You'll find that it does get quite tiring on the eyes. Good, well done. So what I didn't say is that you can obviously blink as many times as you want to, and it doesn't matter if what you're looking at goes blurry. So it's not, we're not working on the vision, we're working on what we call gaze stability. So being able to move your head and eyes independently. So for the next round, same thing, you're going to keep your eyes focused on that point, but this time you're going to drop that chin up and down while you keep your eyes forward on the point, okay? So getting ready, off you go. Now you don't need to take your chin up too high, so if you get a sore neck at the top, don't push it. It just needs to be enough that it changes your vision a little bit, okay? You just have to work a little harder at keeping those eyes still. Again, if this is easy, by all means, you can try and do this on one leg to challenge yourself. Otherwise, you can just stay with me, standing on your 2 legs, doing this nod up and down. Good, well done. Now for some of you, you would have found side to side easier than, or the other way round. So either do the whole next 30 seconds with the one you found more challenging, or what I will do is I'll do 15 of one and then 15 of the other, okay? So if you found them both the same, then join me. But if you found one harder than the other, then you do the hardest one for this last set, okay? So we're going with that in the next 5 seconds. So I'm going to start with side to side. Okay, so I'm going side to side. Good, and now up and down. Excellent, well done. So, give your eyes a little squish. Okay, that is well done, and that's our first 3 exercises done. Just going to grab my little bit of paper. Make sure you grab a drink. Okay, so just to recap, hopefully those of you who have been joining us regularly, you're starting to know these off by heart, is that we've got our 6 core principles of how to exercise effectively for MS. So that includes our high intensity training, which is getting yourself puffing and panting out of breath. Interval-based training, which allows you to do the high intensity without getting so fatigued. It helps to mitigate the neuromuscular fatigue, and it helps you to get better results, okay? Also reduce the heating effect. So high intensity, interval, we've talked about challenge, okay? We talked about that in one of our weeks about how things need to be difficult if you actually want to get something better. If you keep doing the same thing and expect a different outcome, you know, that doesn't work. So we need to make sure your exercises are challenging. Specificity is what we talked about last week, which is talking about that, you know, that there is general exercise needs, but if you've got a specific issue, for example, I've now got a specific issue that I'm going to need to go and see someone with specialist skills, so I'm going to go see the hand therapist regularly to make sure I get this better. So same with yourself, if you've got some foot drop or you've got, you know, some arm weakness, then just doing a general exercise program won't address it. You do need to go and see a neurophysio to get some specialist input about what's happening there. And then our last two is frequency, which is what I'm going to talk about today. And then the last one, which I'll talk about next week, is fun. So frequency, what frequency means is the unfortunate part is that you can't bank exercise. So it doesn't matter if you used to be an Olympic athlete 5 years ago, okay, or you were running marathons 2 years ago. If you are not exercising regularly, day to day, then, you know, it's not going to make a difference. The fact that exercise needs to be consistent in your life, okay? So that's what we're talking about with frequency, is about trying to build in the activity habits and exercise habits into your schedule so that it just becomes part of your life. Now, unfortunately, this is something that our generation or population and current times have to do, because the human body evolved thousands of years ago to have long limbs, to lift and carry and push and walk, you know, a marathon a day to find its, you know, to find its food. And obviously over thousands of years, the human body has done what it's needed to do. It's been only in the last couple of 100 years where we had an industrial revolution that started to significantly change how a human body moved. So if we think about when cars first came around, that was only 2 generations ago, really. Okay, maybe 3, depending on how, you know, how long ago or young you are. That if you know anything about obviously evolution, not much happens in 1 or 2 generations. So since cars have been around and we haven't had to walk anywhere near as much, you know, our physical expenditure has massively changed. And in the last 30 years, which is definitely within my lifetime, you know, we've had these fabulous things called computers that are way more accessible. But my eyes have not evolved to look at a computer screen for 8 hours a day. So the problem is now is that if we go back a couple of 100 years ago, you didn't need to do scheduled exercise because you were always being active. The reality is now is that we need to do scheduled exercise frequently through the week and in the day, because we just don't live how we evolved. And that is one of the reasons we're getting so many health and medical complications and comorbidities, etc., as you know, we are progressing with this, you know, as time goes by. So in the next break, I'm going to talk about what frequency, so how much exercise is needed to try and keep yourself fit and healthy. Okay, so the next round of exercises is on the floor. So if you want to come and join me down onto the ground. Just going to get time as a bit, have a quick drink if you need to. So we're down onto the floor and you are going to be on your side and your weaker side at the top. So we're going to do lots of work on your glutes today, okay, for the ones on the ground. So we're going to have the bottom leg bent, top leg straight, but I want you to make sure you slide that top leg so it's back and that your hip is rolled forward. So I don't want your hip back here, okay? I want the hip rolled forward, leg back. And what we're going to do is a side leg lift. So it's going to be nice and controlled leg lift here for 30 seconds. You can rest your head and arm wherever you want to. You can be propped up on your hand like I am, or you can be down flat, doesn't matter. Okay? All right, getting ready. So let's take that heel back, lifting the leg straight up, and then you're just holding it just off the ground. Okay, so it's not resting back down, squeezing the glutes. You can have your hand on your glutes to make sure that they are working. Okay. And it's again nice, slow, but rhythmical. So we're not doing this too fast, but we're going at a nice steady pace. And I can definitely feel that my glutes are starting to burn a little bit. Beautiful. So roll over or spin yourself around onto the other side. Okay, exactly the same. Okay, that you're going to bend the top leg and take the bottom leg back. And as you can see on this side, I can't put my arm, so I'm just going to use my arm as a pillow. Okay. Make sure your toes are pulled up to your shins. Okay, so your toes aren't pointing like a ballerina. They're pulled up to your shins. Okay, and then we're going up and down here. So we're trying to keep their legs behind you so that you're really emphasising what we call your glutes and that hip extension. So there isn't any flexion, there isn't any bend in the front of your hip. The support hand can be whatever it wants to be for you. Excellent. Now you can either do a very quick change to do the next round on both sides, or what I recommend is doing your weakest side now. So your weakest side we've done twice. So I'm going to come and do my right leg, because that is my slightly weak leg. Okay, we're going in 5 seconds. And off you go. To go. Beautiful, well done. Okay, so next one we're going to be on hands and knees. So come onto your hands and knees. Now you can be on a nice flat wrist. Okay, here. Obviously I can't on my other arm. That's going to be hidden out of the way. I'm maybe cheating, only be on one hand. But we're going to be in here, and now what we're going to do is lift one leg up, bent up to the ceiling, so I put my hamstring on. Okay, so I put my knee at 90 degrees, and I'm going to pump my heel up towards the ceiling. And we're going to do 30 seconds of this, staying in this pumping point of view, okay? So try to make sure that you're not all hunched up in your back. Try and squeeze those shoulder blades back, but pull your belly button to your spine, so also you're not dropped and over arch. Also make sure you don't lock out those elbows, okay? Make sure the elbows are straight, but there's a little soft bend in them, okay? So we're going knee stays bent, heel up to the ceiling. Okay, getting ready. That's it, so pushing that heel to the ceiling, really thinking about keeping your belly button to the spine, core muscles on. Okay, won't feel like too much to start with, but trust me, we're halfway now. Don't know if you're like me, but I can definitely feel that in my hamstring, the back of my thigh, and my glutes. 5 seconds to go. Beautiful. So we've got 30-second rest now. I'm going to tuck my toes underneath me, and I'm going to sit back on my heels. My toes are underneath, so I'm stretching out my big toe extensor. This is very good if you get a bit of foot drop, okay, and you find that your toes catch the ground a bit. It's just make sure that you haven't got tight in that inner sole of your foot. Okay, 5 seconds to go. So back into the same position. We're doing your other leg now. Good. Off we go. So we're going sole to the ceiling. Okay, knee stays bent. Again, belly button to spine. Turn those core muscles on. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. We've got 10 seconds to go. 5 to go. Excellent. All right, again, you can sit back down onto those toes and just stretch out those heels. Also, if you lean back a little bit here, you might also feel a little bit of a quad stretch as well. So for the last round, you can either choose to do your weakest leg for the whole 30 seconds, or you can join me where we're actually going to alternate. So I'm going to go left, right, left, right, left, right through the movement of the whole round. So getting ready? Okay, so I'm going to go one leg, second leg. So now I'm alternating the movement, trying to keep those core muscles on, trying to not let my hips wobble from side to side too much. Shoulder blades pulled down, belly button and spine, over halfway. Beautiful, excellent. All right, so we are back onto your side. And we're going to do some clamshells. So for this, I want both legs together, knees on top of each other, ankles on top of each other. Again, arm wherever comfortable, head wherever comfortable for you. Now, in this position here, make sure your heels are to your bum, okay? And just then have a go at just lengthening your tailbone. So you're going to tuck your tailbone between your legs. And what you'll feel that that does, it just scoops your belly button in towards your spine a little bit more. So we've got those core muscles turned on. And then what we're going to do is lift the knee up towards the ceiling and back down without touching the other knee, keeping the ankles together. But do make sure you don't cheat by just rolling your body back. Okay, rolling your body or rolling your hip back is not what we want. So make sure your top hip is forward and it's only the leg that is working, not the whole body. Okay, but again, scoop that tailbone between your legs to tuck in that core muscles. All right, this is 3 lots of 30 seconds of clamshells, and we get a little rest before the next round. Okay, getting ready. Excellent, off we go. So really think about that, you're squeezing your glutes to do this. Again, it's a steady pace that just keeps going. So it's not a fast and a stop, you just steadily move through the range. We've got 10 to go. Beautiful. Okay, so pop over to the other side, so you can either roll over or flip over. Okay, so make sure you've got your ankles stacked on top of each other, knees on top of each other. Okay. Make sure you just scoop that tailbone between your legs, pull up that pelvic floor muscles. You can even think about squeezing those glutes. And then off we go. So don't let the leg just fall down when it comes back down. Make sure that when you lift it up, you then control it back down. So you're not just allowing it to go with gravity, you're actually slowing it down as it comes back in. Beautiful, well done. So we've got one more round, so you can choose which leg you do the third round on. So you can either do it on the leg that you haven't done the straight leg lift on, or again with me, I'm going to do some focus work on my slightly weaker side, which is my right side. So I'm going to stay as I am here. All right, we're going to get going in 5 seconds. Oh, that's it. Overall. Good, last couple. Excellent. Well done. Got a little breather here, so grab yourself a drink. Okay, the next lot's all going to be up and standing, and that one's going to be reasonably hard work next round. So make the most of the rest before we go into that. Okay, and I'll just talk to you a little bit more about frequency. So, the World Health Organization recommends that you should be doing, or everybody, because a body is a body, you know, though that you may have MS, you've still got a heart, set of lungs, bones, muscles that need to be worked the same as another body, okay? So the World Health Organization's recommendations is to be participating in 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous activity every day, okay? So that's what they recommend. So that's kind of what we want to strive towards. So what is really the way that I talk about exercise is a couple of different ways, is that we've got physical activity. So physical activity is you just leading a life of having a human body. So that is being active, that is, you know, getting your 10,000 steps in a day, that's, you know, being able to do the gardening, doing the shopping and all that type of stuff. Now, the tricky part is that if you've got some mobility impairments, that even being active can be really limiting and hard work. But we've got our activity that is just day-to-day being functional, okay? And then we've got exercise. So with MS, where the guidelines are at the moment, is 3 to 4 times a week, you need to be getting puffing and panting out of breath. So that puffing and panting out of breath can be that high intensity interval stuff. So that only needs to be a couple of lots of 30 seconds of doing some speed boxing or some sprints on the bike, okay, to get your heart rate up. But out of that 3 to 4 times a week where you're doing that high intensity work, you also want to be trying to get in at least 2 to 3 times a week of those sessions as kind of 30 minutes of general aerobic activity. And then twice a week is some 2 strength sessions, okay? So we're doing some purposeful strength training. So the sessions that you're doing here with me are combining both strength and cardio. So this would count as a session that is both cardio and strength. So when you're looking at that, is that you're looking at trying to basically get about 4 to 5 days a week that you're doing some focused exercise, okay? And then the other, your normal 7 days a week, you're just being aware of your general activity levels. Now, for some of you, that's going to feel really daunting and you think, oh my God, I can't get there. Okay, so everything obviously is individual and that specificity, but you still need to make sure you're managing your heart, your lungs, your muscles and your bones. And again, this is where you may need that specificity. You might need to see a specialised therapist in MS to really work out how to get you up to the point that you can be participating in purposeful exercise 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, so that's 3 to 4 cardio, getting out of breath sessions, and twice a week strength training. Okay, all right, you can have a think about that. If you've got any questions, you can pop them into the chat or the Q&A thing on the webinar as we now go into our last round. So if you come up from the floor, okay, I'll just change the screen briefly. What we're going to do is we're going to do lunges. I'm just going to take the screen up just a little bit, just so I don't decapitate myself. Okay, so we're going to do forward lunges to start with. So I want you to have something stable to hold on to. You're going to take a nice big step forward. We're going to drop your back knee down, up, step back. Now, 2 mistakes people make with lunges is they come too narrow, so they come here and then you lose your balance, okay? So make sure your lunge is like you're on 2 tram lines, so you step nice and wide and those knees stay wide to do your lunge. And also that it's not a forward motion, so yes, you step forward, but what I'm not doing is this, okay? I'm not taking my front knee over my foot. What I'm doing is thinking about dropping my back knee to the ground and then stepping back. So as I say, make sure you've got something sturdy to hold on to. And we're doing 30 seconds of forward lunges. All right, off we go. So we're going, sorry, I forgot to say we're alternating. So we go left leg and then right leg, okay? Whichever leg you started with. If you want to challenge yourself, this is quite easy, okay, then feel free to not hold on, okay? But as I say, it's all good to have a fingertip or to be holding on. So we're getting that knee just off the ground. Beautiful. you have the ability to stretch your quad out, okay, you can do a little quad stretch in the rest here, or you can just shake those legs out a little bit and have a little rest. So the next round is going to do lunges, but a backwards lunge. So you're going to step back and drop the back knee, step forward. So exactly the same, but rather than stepping forwards first, you're going to step backwards first. Okay, so stepping back, dropping the knee, and forwards. Step back, drop the knee, and forwards. Good, make sure you still keep the width between the legs so they haven't gone narrow. Good. Last few seconds. Beautiful. Now the last round we're going to do some lunge pulses. Okay, so you're going to be into a lunge position and you're going to drop down and we're going to pulse here for 15 seconds. So I'm about halfway in my lunge and then we're going to change around and do 15-second pulse on the other leg. Okay. So getting ready into position, doesn't matter which leg you start with, so one foot in front of the other. All right, so we're pulsing here for our 15 seconds. So pulsing that back knee up and down. So keep the shoulders up tall, bottom forwards. Okay, so we're not here. Okay, shoulders are back over the hips, and now change legs. Okay, and you're just thinking about pulsing that back knee up and down. Squeeze those glutes. 3 seconds. Well done, excellent. Okay, so we're now going to go on to second to last exercise. I'm just going to grab a drink and just move a few things from behind me. So you're going to stand facing your support. So we're here. And you're going to kick your heel up behind you, okay? Now the key here is to try and kick the heel up as quick as you can, okay? And you're going to alternate left, right, left, right. Okay, so up nice and tall, fingertips just for support if you can, and we're kicking those heels up to your bottom. Now your leg might not come very high, that's fine. The fact that you're even just trying to activate your hamstrings. This is the muscle at the back of your leg. We often call your hamstrings your forgotten muscle, okay, because it likes to go on holiday regularly, your hamstrings. You've got to work it hard to make it work for you. Last few. Beautiful. So your hamstrings are really, really important. So these are the big muscles at the back of your leg in your gait. Okay, they're really important to help with both your stability and standing, but to help with the swing, help with the pickup of the legs. Although people think it's their foot that's dragging on the ground, it's probably the fact that their hamstring has made it weak to pick up the foot. Okay, so these are really important, this muscle. Good, off we go. So nice, quick kicks, heel to bottom. Good, we've got 20 seconds to go. Well done. Okay, so as I say, it's when you're walking, and if it's your foot that's dragging the ground, then you probably don't have that hamstring strength to help lift that leg up and off. So great one to practice. So we're going to do exactly the same for the last round of the hamstring, unless you are super good and you want to put this into a run. Okay, you can hold on and kick those heels up. Okay, I'm just going to do the walking one. If anyone wants to run, feel free. Okay, off we go. So really as quick as you can with that heel. And again, you might only be able to do a couple, and then you might need to stop and rest for a couple, and then join us again. So you do what is available to you. That's halfway. demonstrate this from the front, you may very well find it's best to still have your support in front of you, okay? But I've just taken the support out just so that you can see me a bit better. So this is our side lunge. We have done this in some previous ones. We're going to step sideways and then lunge over, bend the leg. That has gone out to the side, and you'll feel a big stretch in your adductors. Step back in, side lunge, okay? So as I say, feel free to hold on. So you've got one hand giving you some support onto something in front of you, okay? So we've got 30 seconds of that. 3 rounds, last exercise of today, guys. Okay, so nice big step. You know, if you're at the joys like me that I'm on a mat, that I can make sure I'm taking an even step by being in the middle and trying to get off the mat each time. Now see if you can get a little bit lower with the bend as well, so sticking that bottom back. Okay, and that's really going to start working those glutes again a little bit more. Beautiful. All right, so stop there, have a little rest, feel free to have a drink. Right, we've got 2 more of our side lunge. We're going to do the same for the second round, and if anyone's adventurous, I'll give you a variation for the third round. Okay, getting ready to go. Off we go. So the side lunge, good. Really good to work on moving sideways, because moving sideways with some power and some pace is really important to stop us falling over. Okay, if we get knocked off our balance, we need the ability to often sidestep to correct our balance. Last 5. Beautiful. Now you can either stay with me and do the side lunge to the very last one, or if you're adventurous, you can do a jump change. That's where your feet are wide, and you're going to jump to change the foot placement in the middle. So it's not a lunge this time, it's more of a jump change, okay? So I'm going to carry on doing the side lunge, but if you want to have a go at doing a jump change, again, please have your hands on for some support. Feel free to do a jump change. And then those of you who are joining me, this is our last 30 seconds of side lunge. Last exercise of today's session. So let's get the pace up a little bit more. Get a little bit more power. Okay, stepping from side to side. 10 seconds to go. Beautiful, well done team, round of applause, okay? Grab a drink and we'll just do a couple of little stretches to cool down, and then you can feel free to do a few more stretches yourself. So, if your leg is available to you to grab your ankle, your shoe, your back of your trouser, then we'll do a quad stretch. If you can't quite get there, don't worry about this one. You can actually do this one in lying, if you like. Okay, and then we're going to change sides. Okay, I can't do the other side so well because I can't actually hold it very well. Just hold it there. Beautiful, we'll go into a lunge stretch. Again, you can have some support in front of you here. Take that back leg back, heel down. Just stretching out that hip flexor here and the back of the calf. Beautiful, and then we're going to change. Good, and then we're going to do a little hamstring stretch because we worked those hamstrings today. So now heel out in front, straight leg, but just a little soft bend in the knee. And we're just going to hold that there. And then we're going to just change. Okay. Beautiful, and then we'll just finish off with a little groin stretch, a little bit of that side lunge we did before. Again, you're holding on for some support, just to stretch those adductors a little bit, and then back over to the other side. And then if you can, if it's available to you, you're just going to bend those knees, come down, hands onto the ground. Okay, you're going to walk those feet in a little bit if you can. So they're now underneath you, bend your knees as much as you need to. Then up nice and tall, arms above head, and up onto your tiptoes to finish. Well done. Excellent. That was a great class, everyone. Big round of applause for those who have joined us live and for those who will be joining us on the recording. I'll just bring you close. So if there is any questions, feel free to pop them through onto the chat, or you can contact me via my email, which on the recorded version shows after this has finished. So it's gilly@ms-ghs.com. So that's gilly@ms-ghs.com. We have got 2 more weeks to go. So next week I will talk a little bit about the fun element of exercise for our principles, and in that last session we'll talk a little bit again about the kind of conclusion of what we've done. And as I say, so the 8 weeks, all these exercises are all recorded for you to keep working on. So we've got lots of little thanks. Someone's asking if my arms, if it's all okay. It's fine. I've had it in the cast for a long time earlier this year due to some unfortunate damage. Someone's asked me, is it possible to have a face-to-face appointment? Absolutely. So I'm based in Auckland, so you can contact me either through the MS Get a Head Start website or the Connect Neurophysiotherapy website. And that my email on that is gilly@connectneurophysiotherapy.com. I do face-to-face appointments in Auckland here at our clinic. Also do online appointments as well. So if anyone isn't in Auckland and wants to do an online appointment, you can just contact me that way. So it's been a great 6th week. Well done for all of you who are, doing these regularly, and I look forward to seeing you all next week. All right, excellent. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.